Oh, hey. What's going on? It's Friday.
It is.
Azzo replied, "It is Friday." Allie Bear in the chat writes the following. Sid, this is a Kentucky Derby chat comment. Sid, the Puma is on the prowl. Renegade is causing further ado. And Commandment says, "Thou shalt not pass." Who do you like in tomorrow's Kentucky Derby? Well, little do you know, Allie Bear in the chat, there is an 11th commandment. Thou shalt not disagree with Sid when he likes a horse called Commandment. That's your bet. Take it to the bank, and if I'm wrong, we'll never speak of it again. Hit the opening act.
It's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K, 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 S-I-C-K,
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
You are now listening to The Sid Seixeiro Show. Powered by Sick Media, the sickest Toronto sports show. Now, here's your host, Sid.
What's up? Oh, do we have some things to talk about today? Goodness gracious. It is, Jesus, it's May. I'm not doing it's going to be May thing. Forced to do that like 900 times in another life in my career. I'm not doing that. It's going to, shut up. Shut up with that. Sid Seixeiro Show, powered by Sick Media. We are on the air, live on YouTube. We're on X. We're on Facebook. Everyone listening on the audio pods, we appreciate you. If you want to continue to subscribe and like everything, it helps us in our little small business operation we got going on here at the Sid Seixeiro Show, powered by Sick Media. Let's start, Azo, with this comment in the chat from Sugar Shark. Sugar Shark writes the following. You might have addressed this already, but May the 5th, the day after the May the 4th be with you, another garbage thing people say. Get out of here with that. Yeah, I know you have your stormtrooper outfit, and on Friday nights you do it as well. You might have addressed this already, but May the 5th, 2 shows or just the draft live stream? Good question, Sugar Shark. So before we dive into all of our stuff today, let's just go through next Tuesday. It's going to be a normal show. We're up at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, Tuesday, May the 5th. We'll go for 2 hours.
No days off.
No days off. Got to get a T-shirt that says no days off. Unless we tape a show and give ourselves a day off.
No weekdays off, yeah.
Yeah, no weekdays off. So we have a regular 2-hour show next Tuesday here on the Sid Seixeiro Show, powered by Sick Media. Azo and I, we're going to do all our stuff. We're going to send out some clips, blah, 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 upload the show, everything that we normally do. Then we're going to leave, have some dinner at home, and congregate again back in the studio for the NHL Draft Lottery on Tuesday night. Now, the only issue with that is we don't know when the stream is going to start because based on everything I've seen, I don't think Sportsnet have formally announced when the broadcast goes to air. Azo, have you seen anything from Sportsnet about the draft lottery start time?
I have not.
Okay, if anyone in the chat, do us a favor. If anyone in the chat sees this
or
hears anything, or maybe we missed a tweet or a post on Instagram, I'm not sure. Let us know because we do not know when this thing is going to air. It's kind of an important draft lottery for people in Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, and the Malhotra family, and all Gavin McKenna and Veerhoff and all types of people. It's a big draft lottery. The Keith Pelly, Rogers, Florida Panthers, big draft lottery. Dare I say, not since McDavid. That Schaefer kid's pretty good, though. But really, not since McDavid have I seen a draft lottery this big. And Matthews, like those draft lotteries. I'd like to know when it starts. I'd like to know when it goes to air. You, listening and watching this, would also like to know that. So let's try and work the problem together. If any of you know when it's going to air on Sportsnet, let us know. Because basically, we'll show up 5 minutes before, and away we go. We'll be live right there with you. And we appreciate all of you.
Tell you're the talent.
I'm just saying. We appreciate you, and so does Azo. Everyone's saying it looks like a 7 p.m. Eastern start. Others say it's usually 8 p.m. See, we don't really know.
I believe in the past years, it's been a part of like Hockey Central before the games, like 6:30 or 7. I don't know if they give it its own half hour.
How about this? Let's for the time being make this rule. Azo and I will be in the studio by 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Fair? Azo, you're going to be here?
Down.
Unless you're in 50 minutes of traffic again, 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
I will be here as well. So let's make that the soft schedule for Tuesday night, NHL Draft Lottery. We'll do a regular show in the afternoon, and we'll be back here in the evening. And we'll be right as rain as the Leafs get the first overall selection in the 2026 NHL entry draft.
So just Googling it, it's still a date and time. It has the date, obviously, Tuesday, May 5th. Time TBD still. So there's no update yet.
DLL,
some people are saying 7 in the chat.
DLL in the chat says he's seeing 6:30 to 7 in the guide. This is the great mystery of our time. When does Sportsnet go up with the draft lottery? I just want to know when. Tell us. We'll figure this out. But I can tell you, it will be us in these seats with you. Slosh Hogger in the chat says it really just depends on the start of the first game that night. Yeah, I guess if it's a 7 or a 7:30, I guess it matters.
ESPN apparently is going up at 6 Central, so 7 p.m. Eastern. That's when ESPN's broadcast for it starts.
Okay. How about this?
I don't know. That's I'm just seeing that. I don't see anything for Sportsnet.
Okay, Azo, how about this? We show up at 6:45, and our stream. What are you, McCowan? You want to show up later?
No, 6:30. I was going to say, why not?
6:30.
Yeah.
No,
You can come in late. I just got to set everything up, you know.
Oh, you mean physically walk in? Yeah. I'll be in here way earlier than you. I mean, like you and I are ready to go at 7 o'clock. Okay. If it gets pushed back to 7:30, then we'll just stream the Jays with folks for 30 minutes. To hell with it.
Hell yeah.
right?
I'm down with that.
And we'll just dive into the most consequential NHL lottery since McDavid and Austin Matthews. Deal? Deal to the chat and everyone listening? Deal.
Could it be hard for
Let's
them
do
because
that.
they don't know what the NHL like second round schedule is looking like?
Yeah, they're
for
still.
Tuesday?
I mean, that's fair.
That's
they're
what it
still
is,
they're still
right?
working through that.
That's what it is.
And for the record, like hockey producers are already. How do you say this? Busy. Like you throw this on their plate. In all seriousness, who has time for this? Honestly, make it a 15-minute segment. In and out. In and out. You can make it nice and easy on all the backroom staff who are already exhausted, and we haven't started round 2 yet.
Or just do it like you do the draft now. Everybody's on Zoom and everything's digital or whatever, virtual. It's crazy.
You can do virtual.
But I would go with like if ESPN's going up at 7, it's got to be around there, right? Batman cares more about the US, so if ESPN has the time, I'd go with.
Is it on ESPN or NHL Network? I'm assuming You know what? You're right. ESPN would have it in the States. Yes,
that's what I'm seeing here.
Aaron in the chat. Steve Dangle crossover for the draft lottery. I texted Dangle and Adam recently. I don't know. Maybe we can work something out with Sick Media. I don't know. We're not fighting. Are we fighting?
No,
I don't think we're fighting.
Dangle trained me for my very first job in this business.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why you're terrible.
Yeah, you can blame him.
That's why you're terrible. I spilled coffee. I'll be back. Azzo, talk.
Jesus. Dude, it's Friday. Why are you making a mess? You haven't even gotten worked up about anything yet. What are you doing? By the way, I got asked if we're really in the same room. One day I got to walk on just like...
We're in the same room.
Yeah,
Why
I'll
do
clean
people
up
think
for
we're
you.
not in the same room? I'm looking dead at... Watch, he's going to come over here. But come in the shot. Confirmed. Azzo's in the same room. Thank you. Get out of here. Where do people think you are?
I don't know. People are like...
Like
So you do that from your house in your basement? I'm like, no,
Like, are you
we're
in
in the same room.
what are you,
You're
in
like,
Red
why
Deer?
is it a split shot? Like
Split shot is a split shot. What's the big deal? Incredible. Sean in the Yukon. That is a hologram. That's not Azzo. That is Azzo. All right. Appreciate everyone. That's the deal for Tuesday. So to hell with it. So whatever's going on at 7 Eastern, we like the sick countdown will start playing somewhere after 6:55, and then we'll be up. Deal? Work for everyone? I love having complete control. So we could just kind of have a meeting on here and figure it out.
Okay. Well, the chat has to have a say.
Correct. Okay. So that's that. The other thing that's simmering, and Jay Caro in the chat wrote the following. It's time for the McDavid heel turn in Edmonton. You got to get louder, than that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, that's better. Thank you, Azzo. I cannot remember a ton of the shows that we've done, and the Olympic shows didn't count because the Olympics were the Olympics, and they were the biggest thing going. I don't know how many of these shows we have done, Azzo and myself, along with you, where we haven't led either Raptors, Jays, or Leafs off the front in some way, regardless of the size of the story. I feel like that's kind of the lane we've been in. We branch off from there. But Azzo and I kind of stick to the instincts that we had working 1-4 on the Fan 590 back in the day. Like, that's kind of what we did. And today's going to be a little different. Today's going to be a little different because a national story has grabbed the headlines. It doesn't always play out that way in this country, but it has. And I want to start with this, and I know I'm not alone in this. One of my favorite movies of all time is Back to the Future. So good. Michael J. Fox in a fantastic story about family and adventure, and it just grabbed you immediately. And the premise is Marty McFly accidentally goes back to like 1955 when his parents are in high school, and he needs to make sure they get together or the future does not look the same. And when I say it out loud, it's kind of stupid. Like, there are elements to this movie that still till this day surprise me that someone accepted the pitch in a meeting. But at the time, Michael J. Fox, one of the biggest stars on television, should be noted. And And his appearance on the show Shrinking on Apple Plus was unbelievable this past season. I don't know how much of the season you've seen. Whoa, so good. And there's going to be a lot of clips from that show that they play for a very long time for obvious reasons. If you've seen it, you know the ones I'm talking about. But Michael J. Fox, at his stardom, is in Back to the Future. And he goes back to 1955. And he has two chores before the movie ends. One, get his parents together. Dad's a bit of a nerd in high school. But at the same time, get together with Doc Brown and figure out a way to get back to his normal place in history. So there are these two interwoven storylines throughout Back to the Future. Fantastic movie. And I'm talking this way. I know some of you are like, Sid, I know the movie. There's some young people who might be listening who have no idea what we're talking about. You got to respect it. We're older now. That's the reality. So eventually, spoiler alert, the parents do get back together. But the more fascinating aspect of the movie as it goes along is they have a sports car in 1955, the DeLorean. They do not have the juice. They do not have the, I believe it was plutonium, to power this thing back to normal day. So Doc Brown is like, you know what? We have a sports car. We have a thoroughbred. This thing is amazing, but we need the power around it to help it. So they figured out exactly when a lightning bolt would hit some building in the town square and try and harness it. They have the horse, they have the car, they have the speed, but they need the power with it. They need a bolt from above to get Michael J. Fox back to present day. And eventually it happens. The DeLorean is racing down the street. A lightning bolt hits. Doc Brown harnesses the energy. Pop! And Michael J. Fox and the DeLorean are smack dab in a parking lot on the evening of October 26th, 1985. They get back to 1985 because the lightning struck when it should. They had the horses to do it. Boom. The DeLorean of Michael J. Fox, ironically enough, also found their way back in a moment which was basically the Edmonton Oilers dynasty. October of 1985. Oilers already won 2 cups in that stretch. 2. There were a few more coming. And the Edmonton Oilers of present day have had not one but 2 DeLoreans at their disposal in McDavid and Drysdale. Not one, but 2. And they have also been trying to go back through time to the glory years of the Edmonton Oilers, like Marty McFly did. One thing has been missing. The bolt from above. The extra energy. That's what Marty McFly had in 1955 to get back home, and the Oilers have been looking for that same energy. They have the horses. They have the sports cars. They have the thoroughbreds. You need something else. But this present-day Oilers team have had trouble finding that lightning bolt from above. Funny enough, it wasn't Tristan Jarry or Connor Ingram or Stuart Skinner or Evan Bouchard or Zach Hyman or Darnell Nurse or Ekholm or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. You need more energy. If you want to get back to the glory days, you need more energy. Marty McFly found his energy to get back to 1985. The Oilers have not found that extra energy yet. And last night, they failed again in their quest. And we're all watching that kind of play out. And it was such a wild watch last night because, I mean, what was it? 3-1 Ducks, 4-1 Ducks. Like, it felt over early. Early, as the Oilers try and get back to a 3rd straight Stanley Cup final. But it never felt right. It never felt right. In terms of how the blue line played, the goaltending, McDavid was banged up. Drysdale missed a month. Remember that ridiculous narrative of Leon Drysdale coming back and people were like, it's nothing. It's the Ducks. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. And he was 10 points in 6 games. But there were also moments last night where he was completely muscled off the puck and very un-Drysdale-like. It never felt good. Ever. And Connor McDavid is a player who not that long ago said, I'm not going to take a raise. Let me sign for 2 years. No raise. I'm going to stay at 12.5. You guys do your thing. The thing ended up being Tristan Jarry, Jason Dickinson, and Colton Dach. And Tristan Jarry is yours for a while. May I remind you, he signed for next season and the season after at $5.3 million. Woo! That's a good time. And listen, windows shut all the time in sports. We've seen it a million times. But we all know what's going to happen in Edmonton when this window officially shuts. It's not just the window. It's 97. The things that will end in Edmonton are cataclysmic if Connor McDavid's not happy. He took essentially a pay cut. He carried you at the end of the regular season. He led the league in points for a 6th time. Now, his postseason wasn't great. He was banged up. He was a -8. That's not good. But you know what? The 6 Art Ross trophies and 3 MVPs, I'll give him a pass. Because occasionally in the playoffs, guess what? Someone else is going to have to step up at some point. And I'm watching that game last night, and I'm like, okay, McDavid probably doesn't have it here. It looks like it early. Is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins going to have it? No. Nuge got muscled off the puck early in the corner. Early. Matthias Ekholm, is he going to help out? No. He made a bad read on one of those goals in transition. Is Evan Bouchard going to have it? That's funny. He never has it. Darnell Nurse, deflection off Nurse behind Ingram. Like, none of these guys. Zach Hyman's trying to soccer kick something in. That is a distinct kicking motion from Zach Hyman last night. That is quintessential. The cavalry was not coming. This roster has been mismanaged for his entire time in Edmonton. And I think Connor McDavid's been pretty kind about it. Last night, after the game, he was no longer kind about it. A player who did not take a raise when he was eligible, a player who has 2 years left on his contract, a player who some people think could win a Hart Trophy in the not-too-distant future, stepped in front of the media last night after a Game 6 loss to a Ducks team that outside of John Carlson and Chris Kreider have no postseason experience on the ice. Off the ice, different story with Quenneville. But on the ice, that's it. They have a goalie who genuinely looked like he enjoyed giving up the first goal in the first shot for most of the series. And they still couldn't beat the Ducks. The loss was a headline maker in and of itself for Connor McDavid and the Oilers in a series some people thought was a layup. The comments afterwards are deafening from 97. He is not messing around. So let's go through the comments first and have a brief scrum surf with Sid, because I want to play you the whole 2 minutes. It was not long. This was not long from 97, post-game last night. But he was as serious as a heart attack. And in this, I mean, with all due respect to the Leafs front office search and what's happening with Matthews and Brady Tkachuk and Hellebuck and the Canucks search, 97 casts a shadow over all of it in a Canadian market. Arguably. Maybe not arguably, but arguably. So just randomly here, Azzo, I'll just ask for you to stop maybe and help me out as usual, if he feels like it. We'll see. Much like Connor McDavid, I don't help out Azzo much. He helps me. So this is McDavid. This is 2 minutes after the game. This is about as honest as you're going to hear him. And here we go.
Very fast, and we weren't very fast. Yeah, it was just the opposite. They had a good start. We didn't chasing the game.
I believe the second question here is Mark Spector, and I believe this is the one that gets him going and is the precursor to the quote heard around the hockey world this morning.
What was it about your game that you guys you found it in spurts, but you just couldn't maintain it? I guess what did you?
This is not the answer. It's coming up.
And that's been the whole year. We've been searching for consistency all year. Obviously, we didn't find it here in the playoffs.
You're wide. I mean, that's it.
Here we go.
Back to game one. It's been all year searching. Any way to put your finger on how come it was so hard to find the overall game this season?
That was tough. We were an average team all year.
Woo! That is your captain, man. That is your captain. Can you scroll that back, Azzo, to the start of spec? I did. Appreciate it.
That was tough. We were an average team all year. An average team with high expectations, you're going to be disappointed. We just never found it.
2 long playoff runs catch up to this team this year?
So the question he was just asked there is, do you think the long playoff runs the last 2 years affected the team? And what's not being talked about enough this morning is the disgust McDavid has for that narrative. If you can just peel back 5 more seconds, Azzo, on the question. He barely wanted to acknowledge this angle.
2 long playoff runs catch up to this team this year?
Whatever. I'm not going to. No. I thought we were. Yeah. I don't know.
The special teams battle coming into this series, a lot of people favored you guys. Why do you think it swung so much the other way, Tom?
Because we weren't very good on the penalty kill. Power play didn't get off to a good start, found its way into the series. Obviously, we don't get one tonight, but we struggled on the PK all year too. And searching for consistency there too. The power play could have been better to start the series. Credit to them.
You got a lot of guys banged up, yourself included. I guess how tough was that? Some injuries kind of tough to fight through.
Yeah, too hurt too soon. The first round is always tough. It's always chaotic, and it's tough to play through things so early on, as many guys did in here. Credit to our staff for making guys available and making sure they're as comfortable as possible. That being said, it's not an excuse either. We expected to have a longer run than we did. Is what it is.
That's tough when you hear the celebrations in the background down at Anaheim. Back at Seneca, woo! Don't stall! Yeah. Don't stall! Woo! First shot, first goal, don't stall. I saw in the chat a cutting comment. My apologies, because the chat is a little active today, as you might expect. But, I believe it was No 3-putting who wrote Connor McAverage. That's tough. That's a tough comment. Again, -8 in the series, 6 points in 6 games. We did physically see him get hurt, though. It's not like the phantom Brandon Ingram injury, which we'll talk about. But he is hurt, and I will give 97 grace. I can't believe the amount of people who don't, but I do. I don't give anyone grace. I'm a jackass, but I'll give Connor McDavid all the grace in the world. Now, Connor McDavid has 2 years left on his contract now officially. And I was curious how quickly the narrative on the broadcasts specifically would start to move towards McDavid's future. Twitter, obviously, it happened like at the end of the first period. End of the first period, people on Twitter are like, what's going to happen? Future Leaf? Is John Chayka going to get Connor McDavid? Sure. But I was wondering what the narrative would be here. And the one thing I've always liked about how TNT does their broadcasting is they encourage people not to pull a punch. That's how they do it. That's how the inside the NBA guys made their bones and still do. And quite frankly, that's how they've turned that TNT hockey desk into one of the best, not just in hockey, but in sports. And Biz has been a huge part of that. Because Paul Bissonnette brings out energy in others. Like, it's a special on-air talent, Paul Bissonnette. And you can see it every night. He's turning people around him into stars and bringing them out of their shell. Last night was another one of those moments to me. Like that, a broadcast could easily have just not brought this up. And forgive me, I didn't see the Sportsnet crew. I'm going to assume this came up a little, but I can tell you it did on TNT. McDavid's future. Henrik Lundqvist, Anson Carter, Liam McHugh, the host. He's done a great job. I wasn't always a fan of Liam McHugh, but he's kicking ass in that role. He's doing a really good job. And Paul Bissonnette were on the desk, and they dove kind of right into it. What now with McDavid? What now with the Oilers? With 2 years left on his contract, having taken a pay cut to improve the team, and the team got worse. And this is fascinating. So I pulled 2 minutes-ish of this. I'm not going to stop it. I'm going to let it run. The order is Henrik Lundqvist, Anson Carter, Liam McHugh chimes in, tees it up for Paul Bissonnette, and Bissonnette goes. Now, some of them are taking some heat for this. I think this is good television. I think it's honest television. I think we need more of it. This was the TNT hockey guys last night after the Oilers lost.
See them even be close winning this year. Maybe this is a good thing for them that ended it short this year to really regroup, rest. They played a lot of hockey over the last 2-3 years, right? So, yeah, big summer for them, some big decisions, but Connor said it himself. They had an average year. They were constantly searching. They didn't come into the playoffs firing like the last couple of years. They had this confidence, energy about themselves. We didn't really see that in this series.
I'd probably give him a year this year and then have to decide what they're going to do with Connor McDavid. I really do. I know he signed a 2-year deal. He's not going to make it for the full 2 years. If there isn't drastic improvement in this hockey team, I could see them moving Connor McDavid, without a doubt.
Yeah, well, you can't. I mean, if you're not going to be a championship team, you can't get nothing for him, right? You can't let him just go after 2 years. But, I mean, there's a lot of decisions here.
Yeah.
Potentially leadership, coaching, and bringing in some players. Because, I mean, the moves that they made to try to better this team were not very good, especially when you look at the goaltending trade, where you trade a starting goalie for essentially a backup, and you give away a defenseman in the process.
Yeah, I'm not going to speculate on McDavid. I've been kind of beating this drum for the last couple of years. I think that management's failed them. We keep saying, oh, this team's better than when we saw in years past. They've made improvements. Yeah, right. That's BS. Like, where are the Fogels? Where are the McLeods? Where's the Broberg? Where's the Holloway? Where's the I'm drawing the blank on the kid, Connor Brown.
Yep.
Where are those guys that Connor loved playing with and I felt a different spunk when he was answering questions post-game. You could tell his frustration, and obviously some of the quote-unquote blame will be put on McDavid because he's the leader of this team, but he's playing hurt. And you know what? Sometimes that has to happen, and he's going to battle through that, and he'll probably still turn out even, but you're going to need some big saves. You're going to need some big plays from guys who are role players. And I'm a little bit disgusted with the way that they've surrounded him over the last 2 years and how they've moved off of pieces that I thought were working to begin with when they were so close. Why wouldn't you allow those same people who got you to Game 7 to at least most of them to come back and have that opportunity again? So we can obviously there is blame and onus on the players, the coaches, but I feel like at the top there's been some major deficiencies, and those are the ones that I would start to address.
That's how you do that. That is how you do that. called honesty. I'll throw another name on the table. Corey Perry's still in the Stanley Cup playoffs right now with Tampa. Now, Corey Perry historically will not win a cup. He has the one cup, lost a lot of opportunities at cups, but you know what I'm trying to say. Perry was like always like a weed. He was like popping up whenever the Oilers kind of needed something. You need that sometimes. Can you imagine a former Duck Corey Perry in that series? I think it would have gone a little different. Just a little different. But I digress. Now, Paul Bissonnette mentioned the people around Connor McDavid running the team. The one thing I will say about anyone who is pointing a finger at McDavid is this, and I will agree with it. Are you telling me Connor McDavid had nothing to do with his former agent, with his former junior coach, being put in positions of power on that team? And Jeff Jackson and Chris Knobber? Are you telling me he had nothing to do with that? I find that hard to believe. Because if we're pointing fingers, we don't like the job Chris Knobloch did, or we don't like the job that Jeff Jackson, his former agent, has done as president of Hockey Ops. You must think I'm a fool if Connor McDavid had nothing to do with that. I'm not saying he orchestrated, but don't tell me someone went to him and said, hey, what do you think about this? Because that's on McDavid too. I hate to break it to everybody. That's on McDavid as well. But with that said, the reality of what was intended by McDavid and what happened in the front office and the coaching staff is shocking. Because let's go back to last September. Like, training camp, I don't believe had even really begun for the Edmonton Oilers. And you had all of the hockey media congregating in Edmonton about McDavid's pending free agency. Everybody. I think Frege and Kyle were there. This was like already a monster. And they thought they could control it, and it was getting out of hand. They hadn't played an exhibition game in Edmonton. And all anyone can talk about is 97 and the pending unrestricted free agency after this year. So what does McDavid do? Which is the responsible thing to do. Not only does he sign short-term enough to kind of quiet it down, but the guy takes no extra money. Same salary. You guys use this as you see fit. So in theory, what McDavid is doing last September, signing for 2 years, is telling the organization, guys, let's just not panic here, okay? Let's not operate like a Mitch Marner 1 foot out the door. Because then mistakes get made. I'm going to sign for 2 years. Relax. Relax. Think it through. That was the intention. But the Oilers front office and coaching staff continuously throughout the year operated like McDavid was a pending UFA. They panicked. Tristan Jarry was a panic move, which now looks like a disaster. You couldn't play the guy in the first round. Jason Dickinson couldn't stay healthy. That's a first-round pick out the door. That's a panic move. That's what's messing me up on this. McDavid tried to set the table to not panic. I'm not leaving. Let's just think it through properly, get in the people we need. We can take care of the rest on the ice. And the Oilers panicked. Stan Bowman panicked. And now where are they? I've never seen McDavid that pissed. This is the worst year of his professional career. This year is worse than him losing a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. He lost a gold medal game and then this. I would argue this year's worse. Because now the future is coming into focus. As people in Toronto have known for a while, a flawed roster will stay flawed. And I'm looking at this Oilers roster right now. And, like, what can you mess around with? Adam Henrique is a UFA. Jason Dickinson's a UFA. Jack Roslovic, pardon me. What the hell did that guy do? He's a UFA. Kasperi Kapanen, you might actually want to resign. It's been pretty good for you. But defenseman-wise, like, here's the problem with the Oilers. Defensively, they are not responsible. Whether it's in goal or the people in front of goal, this is not a responsible team. Last night, you had defensemen making mistakes all over the place. That was quintessential Oilers. Quintessential. Ekholm looked bad. Bouchard looked bad. Bouchard, -7 in the series. Evan Bouchard. Yeah, but he's great offensively. He's great offensively. Great. That great offensive player is going home. It's the playoffs. Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse, Matthias Ekholm, and Jake Wallman are all signed through at least 2029. You can't move that. You can't move it. Jake Wallman is going to get a raise next year from $3.4 to $7 million. The hell is that about? The things you have to change on this team, you can't. That blue line is in there. It's very Leafish. The blue line is locked in. That's trouble. I'm sorry. That is trouble. Because to quote Keith Pelly, you did not see that Anaheim Duck train coming. That is a young team, faster than you, better than you. And wait till they get some experience. They have a Jedi Master in Quenneville on the bench. How did that coaching matchup go in that series? Connor McDavid believes they're an average team. He has Stanley Cup aspirations. I don't know what you change on this team that doesn't make it average. I got news for you. It's been average the last 2 years. But McDavid and Drysdale have saved you. If it's apparent there are moments where they can't save you, can you help them? Can you save them on nights? The answer right now is no. Nugent Hopkins and Hyman are nice guys. I get it. They're not about that life, man. They're not. Like, what is Connor McDavid? 31? How old is Connor? He's 29. Connor McDavid's 29. Everyone points to the Alexander Ovechkin won a Stanley Cup at 32. Yes. Look at all those other guys who are legends who won cups. They didn't win in their 30s. They won way sooner than that. And especially if they have legacies. If you want cups, plural, it's getting late early for Connor McDavid. And you know he thinks about that. You know he thinks about that. I believe the Players Tribune article he had before the Olympics was laced with legacy talk. Laced. You hear Connor McDavid last night. You look at this roster in Edmonton, this average defense locked in till at least 2029. At least. I know the TNT guys took some heat last night for that conversation. There is a lot of truth in what they said. A lot of truth. There's a signal that aviators use when things aren't going well. It's called Mayday. Let me look at my phone. It is May the 1st. It is Mayday in the city of Edmonton and inside the Oilers organization. And I don't think changing a GM or a head coach is going to change the way this looks on the ice if McDavid and Drysdale are not carrying you every single night. Someone very skilled is going to have to convince Connor McDavid this is not the norm. The look on his face, The tone in his voice last night suggests he knows this is the team. That's a problem for the entire city of Edmonton. But there's some positives, whatever. They might turn it around. Jeff has a party. Good afternoon.
Hey, Sydney. I like how you end that. There may be some positives.
I might just do that going forward.
Yeah.
If I rip on something for 30 straight minutes, which I think I did.
45. Whatever.
45 minutes.
40 minutes.
I might just go, but you know what? Could be okay.
Always a chance.
Could be all right.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'm going to start, Azo, with you at the McDavid comments, because that almost to me is going to resonate more than anything from that hockey game last night.
It did with me, but for different reasons. Like, I wouldn't call that angry. I think we've seen McDavid way angry, because usually he is angry when they lose. That to me was like apathetic, like indifferent. Like you said at the end there, he knows where they're at and they're an average team. And I think when you start seeing that out of McDavid, how like indifferent, apathetic, the roster is what it is and we're average, there's a problem.
Apathetic is more dangerous than angry.
That's what that was to me.
If you're right, and there are a lot of people that would agree with your analysis of that.
We've seen McDavid angry. Like he gets angry when they lose.
But listen, you and what are we? 2 months, 3 weeks into this show that we're doing here with Sick Media? My energy for this show, something really weird is going to have to happen for me to not have energy for this show, because it's growing every day.
Yeah, agreed.
And there is no ceiling on what we can do. You, I, Sick Media, whoever else joins us down the road, and someone will. But there's no cap on it.
Right. Well, you know this, right? I feel I'm more exhausted now than I've ever been, and I've worked triple the hours that we're putting in now.
You're more exhausted. You look worse.
I know. Tell me
terrible.
About it. It's taking a beating.
You have this weird goatee thing. I don't know what it is. Beard. I don't know what you're trying to do with your face. But
I've been trying to figure it out for 40 years.
But when listen, all of you know what I'm talking about. Either you have energy for some work or you don't. When you don't have energy for that work for a variety of reasons, man, that's tough getting up for. Mm-hmm. That's tough.
Without a doubt.
And I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there. And Connor McDavid last night had the energy of a guy that was like, I just want to go home.
Done.
Now, this also could be an Olympic year. This could be he's exhausted. Drysdale's exhausted. Like, you're right. Like, maybe that's just that. I know there are people in Edmonton trying to convince themselves, guys, Connor's tired. The media is all over him.
But we've never seen that from him before. He always
I've never
raises
heard
to the occasion.
We're an average team.
Yeah, that's a big statement.
See, that's the kind of comment. If I'm Bowman, if I'm still here, and if I'm Jeff Jackson, if I'm still here, we do need to talk about the comment.
Oh,
because they almost won the division. It wasn't a great division.
I was going to say that,
but they almost did win the division.
Yeah.
Like I think
they still made the playoffs.
I don't think McDavid's the only one who should be a little upset here based on the comments. Like if I'm Oilers management, we got to clear some air. Like we got to figure this out, because Tristan Jarry heard that.
Wow.
And all the, no, but he's not going anywhere.
No, but
he's part of the team.
You brought him in. You talked about the years on your contract. You couldn't play him in the first year you brought him in the playoffs.
But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you're going to try and turn this around from a first round devastating loss to a fairly inexperienced hockey team, Jarry needs to be on board here too. Like it's about galvanizing. Now is a galvanizing moment for the Oilers. It's not like McDavid has a foot out the door. I don't think he's leaving.
Right.
I don't think he's asking for a trade. It would be a spectacular turn of events if that were to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. But if let's assume this roster stays the same, you maybe work around the edges. McDavid's going to have to kind of turn that frown upside down.
For sure. No. He started. That's going to be a very interesting exit interview he does whenever they get it done. Because you're right. That quote has to come up. And to be fair, like his new contract kicks in next year, right? Like this coming year.
Yeah, 2 years
So
left.
if the cap goes up, they have that room. So you're right. I don't think he's going anywhere. You wait to see what they do. But to your point, the moves they made this year was like he was leaving. You're 100% right
they
on that.
acted like they didn't know if he was going to be here next year, and I will never understand it.
No.
I will never understand it.
And that's all I wanted to bring up about Jarry. Like, you brought this guy in. You have him under contract. You couldn't play him this year in the playoffs. Like, never mind what McDavid just said. You showed him that you don't trust him enough to play.
Look,
you gave him one game where he lost in overtime, and it wasn't really his fault he lost, and then you went right back to Ingram.
I don't want to disparage Jason Dickinson or Colton Dock or Connor Murphy, any of the guys that got picked up by Stan Bowman. Like, they're kind of I've gotten to know them a little bit in the Canadian market. I kind of like them. I don't mind them, especially Dickinson, who can't stay healthy.
Right.
In what world, in hindsight, if you're Stan Bowman, do you not go to Brad Treliving and say, give me Waugh and OEL right now?
Yeah.
Right now. And he didn't. OEL's sitting there. For a defenseman on that Leaf team to look respectable this year was a David Blaine act.
Sure.
And you could have had, and you had a first. But you gave the first to Chicago? Really? You could have dangled that first and got both those guys from Brad Treliving.
Yeah.
Treliving was out to lunch.
He needed a first badly.
The stuff that was available for Stan Bowman was crazy.
Sure. Wow.
Was crazy. If he would have paid the price, guess what? Big year. Pay the price. Give me OEL on that back line. Let him play some minutes. Get Evan Bouchard off the ice for an extra 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Might help you.
A veteran leadership guy like OEL for sure would have helped. And also, when he pulled the trigger on the Jari trade, was so early in the season. Like, you couldn't have rid out like Stuart Skinner a bit longer and waited to see what other teams or who else might become available.
Ray Bay in the chat, OEL was off the table because his wife was expecting. Then pull the trigger a month earlier.
Yeah.
Be creative about it.
That's what I mean.
He was sitting there the whole time, and you had him next year. You had him for another McDavid window potentially in Edmonton. Right. Make it happen. That's your job, Bowman. Stanny boy, that's your job. Do it. Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson, Tristan Jarry. Have you lost your mind? This is Connor McDavid. This is the best player since Gretzky on your team. The second best player is Drysdale since Gretzky.
100%.
And you're bringing in Jason. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Stan Bowman is a fraud. Fraud. I would have won cups with Duncan Keith and Jonathan Taves and Patrick King. Fraud of the highest order. So do you think a weird thing happens and Connor McDavid says, I want out? I don't see it happening.
No, not this offseason.
I don't see it happening.
If we all believe like Matthew's going to do the same thing and give this group a chance to retool this, like Connor has to. Again, that contract he just signed kicks in this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Cap goes up, gives him more room, but
it was so now Alex Tuck is going to change everyone's fortune in Edmonton.
That's the thing.
What the hell are they going to get?
Based on the moves you said, how do you trust this management team's like instincts or decision making? It's crazy.
Dennis from Milton in the chat. Poor leadership by McDavid. Should have owned it rather than blaming others.
Wait, what?
He didn't. To be fair about the comment, I didn't hear a lot of owning from McDavid in that media availability. Did you? I didn't hear a ton of ownership. I'm sorry. Yeah. He wasn't in the mood. But that's his right.
No, it's true.
That's his right.
He's done it for 2 years. He's taking you to the Stanley Cup Finals. He got you into the playoffs when Leon was hurt. I'm okay with that.
And he just won a 6th scoring title.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What a 6th scoring title. Kucherov had that thing locked up. Nope. Mine. I'm taking it.
Could he have been better? Sure. Like, again, like Biz said, the players have to take some responsibility, but he took an average team to the playoffs when other guys were hurt and he played through the injury. I don't think he has to.
Him and Drysdale took average teams to the Cup final.
You're right.
Consecutively. Consecutively. That Oiler team is way worse than we have acknowledged. Way worse. You lose Corey Perry and it falls apart? You lose Connor Brown and it falls apart? Brett Kulak and it falls apart? What the hell operation are they running out there? God bless Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I'm sorry. No 3-putting. McDavid was probably playing through an inflamed heel by the end of it. Raptors coming up here on the Sid Seixeiro Show, powered by Sick. Do you want to hear from Drysdale?
Yeah, I was going to say his quote was pretty interesting.
He was interesting too. And again, Drysdale 10 points in 6 games in this series. He missed a month.
Fresh off, exactly.
He missed a month.
Fresh off an injury.
He's a cyborg
who seemed to come back early too, from what we all expected.
Of course,
because he had to.
Now my take was, you don't need him against the Ducks. I was wrong. You needed every ounce of Leon Draisaitl against the Ducks.
Did Gudas even play in that series? Like they were even missing guys.
Yeah, they were.
Crazy.
They were missing guys.
They were hurt too. Like everybody wants to say Edmonton, because Edmonton was missing other bodies. Like I don't think they had one healthy center in this entire series.
Marty in the chat, Big Dry's line was good. Yeah, and Knobber did everything in his power to take him off that line with Podkolzin and Kapanen. What a genius. What a genius Chris Knobloch is, eh? We'll get to him in a second. Let's hear from Draisaitl, one of the more honest quotes in the National Hockey League. Oddly enough, He was not the most honest Oiler quote last night. That title went to 97. Here's 29 after the loss.
Really found what you need to find this time of year, especially to go all the way. In my opinion, just not good enough. So, yeah.
Connor said there's too many injuries too soon in the playoffs. How tough was it to go out there with so many guys?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, our center 1, 2, 3 are playing through stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to find ways to win games in any way. You got to grind one out. You got to defend one out, and injuries. Yeah, they suck, and it hit us at a bad time, certainly. But at the end of the day, they're the better team, and we'll just leave it at that.
Chris in the chat, Leon and Connor must be injured from carrying the team for 3 years. That too.
Playing major minutes at the Olympics and for Nate, it's crazy.
It's nuts.
They've had an insane schedule.
Now, to his point at the end about having their top 3 centers banged up, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not, we're going to talk Raptors here in a second. The injury situation there is out of control. It was for the Oilers. Now, do I still think they had what it took to beat a completely inexperienced, a fast, but inexperienced Ducks team? Yes. Yes. I don't want to let everyone off the hook on that. I don't want to let everyone off the hook. This is an experienced team on the blue line for the Edmonton Oilers. But yet it's one excuse after another with these guys. And I'm tired of making the excuses. And the goaltending has never been good enough. Ken Holland, Stan Bowman, inept performances by 2 experienced GMs. Inept at getting a goalie in here that mattered. You should have got Binnington years ago before the offer sheet scandal, because now St. Louis and Edmonton are never going to trade with each other again. But before then, you should have got Binnington. 100% you should have got Binnington. If the Leafs are smart, they talk goalie this offseason, but Stolarz is now hurt too. I don't know what that does. We'll see what John Chayka does with Stan Bowman on the phone. We'll see.
And they're still locked into Jari, though, again. And again, he
That's
also
crazy.
said
Crazy.
right? It is. That's what I'm saying to you, to move forward with that guy. And the other thing is, he also said, you have to grind out wins. You need your defense to bail you out the odd game. There was only one game in the series that the Ducks didn't score multiple. They only had 1 goal in that, what was it, game 5? Other than that, it was 4 goals, 6 goals, 7 goals. Man, this team can't put up 5 goals a night if they want to win. 6 goals, 7 goals a night to win every night. That's insanity.
It is insanity. Slosh Hogger in the chat. Give Coach Quenneville and his young team credit. Great showing. 100%. That's a valid comment. Did you see the goaltending statistics for the Oilers going back the last 3 years that circulated? For those who haven't seen it, this is making the rounds. Oilers team save percentage 2 years ago was .902, and that's not great. That's not great.
No, that's barely over 900. Isn't great.
Last year, it went from 902 to 888. This year, it went from 888 to 867. Stan Bowman needs to be fired immediately.
Agreed.
Immediately.
What?
Immediately. That is pathetic. Johnny, 3 Stanley Cups, can't find a goalie? All he did was find bad goalies in Chicago. That's all he did.
To pull the trigger as early as he did, and you land on Jari? If you're going to pull the trigger that early to make a move, you got to be sure about the guy. Jari had nothing to suggest he was that guy for them.
No. And Tyler in the chat reminds us, was Jari not on waivers last year as well? Yep. Yep. Now, trading Stuart Skinner, I agree with. The local Edmonton guy was taking way too much heat. Sorry. That was the right decision. I know some of you are on the I'm never going to give a compliment to Stan Bowman. Sorry. That was the right decision.
But was it an upgrade? You have to upgrade if you're going to trade a guy.
I'm with you. You got to upgrade.
That wasn't an upgrade.
But the gist of the strategy is sound with getting rid of Stuart Skinner if you can find an adequate replacement.
Right.
Luca in the chat. And maybe I'm just already in NFL mode waiting for training camp this summer. Sid, I see a lot of similarities with the Oilers and the Bills. Inept GMs. Let's hope the one in Edmonton doesn't get a promotion out of this.
Wow. Oh, he can throw his coach under the bus.
Here's the one thing. If I'm an Oiler fan, here's the one thing I do trust in. Daryl Cates, ownership. Everyone knows the clock. Everyone's well aware of the clock here with Connor McDavid. 2 years. Probably 1 year. I think Anson Carter on the TNT set last night nailed it.
Mhm.
If this happens again next year, we're just kind of blah. You're gonna let a Mitch Marner and walk out of town for nothing? Responsible organizations don't do that. Responsible organizations who understand hockey and pro sports don't do that. The Leafs do that because they don't understand that. But the Oilers have a chance to at least get a haul. From who? Who knows?
Yeah.
It has the Seattle Kraken written all over it.
Oh boy.
It has like a team you're not expecting.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Or Bill Guerin. Bill Guerin's getting a taste for it.
He definitely is. It's
Minnesota
paying off.
Wild bouncing Dallas last night.
It's paying off, man.
You never know.
I love Guerin.
You never know. Oh, here's one.
Even Boldy talking about Quinn after, and the guys on Overdrive addressed this. Do you remember when Boldy was an up-and-coming league and like our up-and-coming player? And at the end of 1 year, Guerin pulled him aside and said, "Hey, man, what you're doing isn't good enough. So if you want to be a part of this, you got to start stepping it up."
Wow.
He's turned into one of the
What a concept.
yeah, right.
What a concept.
Like this, he holds nothing back, and that like based
What a
on last
concept.
night, Quinn Hughes is going to take this team far too. Like I'm so looking forward to that Colorado Minnesota series, and with McKinnon and
It's gonna be good.
Makar against
It's
Quinn
gonna be
Hughes again. Like, and he commanded that game last night. Quinn Hughes, he's so good.
By the way, Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah.
I read something yesterday I didn't realize. So people are talking MVP, and I mean he won he won the Rocket Richard.
Yeah.
He won the goal scoring title. Do you know who scored the most empty net goals this year in the National Hockey League?
Him?
Nathan McKinnon.
Really?
It was like 8 or 9 or something like that. I thought for sure it was Nylander. I did a double take.
You were
I
so
thought it was
good.
Nylander.
No.
But it was Nathan McKinnon. It changes my perspective a little bit on his season, if I'm being honest.
For me, it just means he's got no stop. Like if he's on the ice, he's putting the puck in the net. Who cares?
Oh, okay. Well, no, you're not a tough guy if there's no goalie in it.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
Oh, come on. No.
Come on.
It's like
McKinnon's
slicing the throat when
McKinnon's
they're
a
down,
warrior.
though.
Warrior, empty netters.
No, but that's slicing the throat when they're down. Like just bury them.
Okay. You and I have different thought
Yeah, yeah.
processes on
I agree
empty
with
netter.
you. If you have the most in the league and it takes like you win the scoring title, then I don't know.
That's
about
that's the part that stuck out to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because like I believe Cole Caulfield had 0 empty netters. this year.
Yes, that's true.
Like 0.
50 plus goals and no empty netters. You're right.
I mean, like
Yep.
I find that funny.
yeah,
I find
fair
that funny. Sydney Solo in the chat
Who?
writes the following. Guys, can Edmonton sign Bobrovsky? The answer is yes. Salary cap's going up by about $9 million for everybody. Yes, you can sign Bobrovsky. Now, I think Bobrovsky will, like in Florida fashion, re-sign for like $3 million because that's what they do down there.
Well, I don't know.
We'll see. We're about to find.
Maybe they know
we're
they
about to
need a
find
new
out.
goalie, and I feel like he might go after like Bennington or something.
I'm telling you.
Bennington
I'm
in
telling
Florida? Imagine.
So Bennington in Florida. I
Yes.
thought you said Bennington in Edmonton.
No, sorry. I mean
no.
Florida letting Bobrovsky walk because he's getting older and going after Bennington. I could totally see that happening.
Ray Bay in the chat. If Toronto deals Stolars and promotes our goalies from within, that works for everybody.
It does.
The Stolars has to be healthy for that.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
Stolars injury messed up a lot of things, man.
A lot of things.
A lot of things. Stolars could have got you a little something.
You're bang on with
No
that.
question about it. Listen, he still might, but I don't like the whole I'm going to make a regular save and pop a groin.
It's hard
That's
to trade
bad.
a guy when
That's really bad in terms of moving a player. Mark in the chat, Sid, you said Nylander. I thought you didn't swear.
I did notice that.
That's pretty good. Point to Mark. Gosh darn it, point to Mark. One last Oiler thing. We've gone over an hour in the Oilers.
That's crazy, dude.
Don't show it yet, Azo.
Yep.
The one thing that kind of grinded my gears the most last night, it wasn't the scoreline. It wasn't the performance from the Oilers D. It wasn't the fact that the Ducks are new at this in terms of postseason experience. It's and the fact that the Oilers probably would have beaten Vegas or Utah based on what I've seen from both those teams. What bothered me the most post game was watching Chris Knobloch and go ahead, Azo, throw it up. Is it me or is he really tanned?
They are in Anaheim.
But Drysdale and McDavid didn't look
Yeah,
tanned.
for sure, because they're on the ice practicing.
Like, what did he do in Anaheim? The Oilers are like fighting life and death to stay in it. And he looks like he got an 18. Is it me or is Chris Knobloch really tanned at the Deus postgame?
Or is that just anger? Like, is it red anger?
No, my guy's Gene Principe tan.
He is. It's true.
Like,
or maybe he just lightened his hair. I don't know. I'm just trying to give you the other side. I have no idea.
Sorry, do you think he Beijinged his hair a little bit?
No, he did. Even with his interview with Scotto, like he did look tan.
Just get Bruce Cassidy in there and see what he can do with it. Well, Chris Knobloch, sorry.
Yeah.
The Emperor doesn't have any clothes. Sorry.
He had his 2 chance, man. He had 2 runs.
Let's put Drysdale and McDavid together. Okay, Drysdale back with Podkolzin and Pekapinen.
Thank you for bringing this up, because I did want to say that. Like how they just thought they could go back to the well, even with the goalie change, with the let's put Jari in and see if he can go on a run like they've done in past years with their goalies. Like a quick change is going to fix this and we'll start going on a run. To assume that what's happened in the past is going to happen again is like, that's insanity.
I'm with you. Drew Mega in the chat. Hold up said no one tans like Principe. Nobody.
That's true. That is true too.
I will take it back. Principe's tans are like Venice Beach, Hulk Hogan 80s worthy.
With the quaff.
Like Gold's Gym worthy. But like in the chat, I'm looking in the chat. Like I'm being honest. I'm asking. He looks tanned, right?
Yeah, he does.
Chris Knobloch looked like he went for like a 5-hour jog with no hat.
What's the weather in Edmonton?
It's not Anaheim weather. I'll tell you that. It's not Anaheim weather. All right, who's not back with the team in terms of the structure of the management and the coaching?
To be in the room in that exit interview with Connor would be fascinating.
But you're right though. I think the issue becomes if it's an indifferent meeting to him. If he's just tired and he wants to go home.
Figure it out.
Because did he not get married the summer before?
I believe so. Him and
Drysdale, I think same summer.
Yeah,
like he's had busy summers.
He's been busy no matter what. Like, it's also not just the physical play; like it's this emotional stuff, having to answer these questions constantly, and like having to stand up for Bowman or Nauber or whoever you want to say, like trying to defend decisions they've made. Like it's just so much. Like those guys battled through. Again, it was even though it was a pillow fight, it was a fight to get into the playoffs for this guy.
It turned someone put a cinder block in the pillow.
Yeah.
For the Oilers. That pillow fight got violent quick. Very quick. All right. The Oilers are out. Locker clean out. I'm assuming Monday. I doubt they'll do it over the weekend.
I think they might. I think they all just want to get at it. It seems, honestly, it did seem to me like the apathy part and the indifferent part are like Connor and Drysdale are just like, let me get out of here and go get it.
I could see that happening.
I totally do. I kind of feel like it might be.
Okay. We have not heard the last of Oilers on this show. That's for damn sure.
Who was it? I think Sloshhogger said, better talking Oilers than Leafs. Sure, better talking Oilers than Leafs.
Wait 30 seconds. You'll get your Leafs. Hey, Azzo.
Yes, Sid.
Great time of year.
Because it's a weekend. Oh, great time of year. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I will. Puck drops, tip-offs, first pitches. When the game is on, you call the shots. Head to betway.ca and bet your way. Must be 19 plus. Play responsibly. So the Leafs are still kind of talking to people. It feels like Matt Sundin and John Chayka are very much on the tip of everyone's tongue. We'll get to Chayka in just a second. But there was a piece in the Athletic column a few days ago that we kind of went through, the one with the byline of Jonas Siegel, Chris Johnson, and James Myrtle, the 3 MLSE horses of the apocalypse. And there was a line in there, I don't even think I read it, but it said the Leafs asked for permission to talk to a current GM in the league and were denied permission. The team said no. So some people went digging, and Elliot Friedman, who's one of the best diggers, found a name. He believes the name that was at the center of that report was Julien Brisebois, GM of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Tampa Bay Lightning said no. A few things stick out to me there. One, what would the Leafs have to pay Julien Brisebois for that role? That's where that muscle really comes into play from Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment.
I was going to say anything he wanted, and
yes.
they would. And they would.
Yes. That's the first thing. Second, Julien Brisebois has been part of 2 Stanley Cup winners in Tampa, has had some tremendous teams. I mean, they might go out tonight. Like there has been ups and downs for Tampa. I think the Habs are winning that hockey game tonight. There's been ups and downs for Tampa, but Julien Brisebois is a respected guy in the league. How the Leafs go from, hey, let's talk to Julien Brisebois to let's find people who either haven't been in the league for 5 years or 17 years is a wild left turn. Like, how do you go from they're experienced to, sorry, you've done nothing? You're it. It's a crazy off ramp to me. But that happened. The other thing that I can't help but think about is when Steve Yzerman got to Tampa in 2010, one of the first people he brought in was Julien Brisebois. Steve Yzerman left Tampa, and they have still won a lot of games and made the playoffs. Nothing has happened in Detroit. Nothing since Steve Yzerman took over the Red Wings. Do we have to rethink the whole Brisebois-Yzerman relationship in Tampa a little bit and who was the real power broker? Because everyone's afraid of Steve Yzerman in the media. Like, no one wants to cross Steve Yzerman. I don't know why. No, what? There's no leg to stand on as an executive in Detroit. So, I mean, it's all fair. But like Yzerman leaves Tampa, has done nothing as an executive. Julien Brisebois stayed in Tampa, win a lot of games. Do we have to rethink the Tampa years a little bit? I don't know. I'm asking. People are saying. But Tampa saying no is a layup of a move, Azo. Like, in what world do you let this guy go?
Especially going into the playoffs where they're in a fight. Like, they know they're going to have a tough series against Montreal. Like, it's a weird time to be asking them to. Like, it's everything. Why would Tampa say yes to that?
No, no way would I say yes to that. And by the way, if I say yes to that, if I'm Tampa, I want to be compensated a couple of first rounders. Leafs don't have them.
That's a great point.
What are they going to compensate me with? A solid fourth? I don't want that.
Take a Wendy's franchise now.
Well, maybe.
No, and the other thing is, like, I think you should have announced Scott White if you wanted to before Dallas went out last night. Maybe you should have signed him. That should have been an announcement.
Apparently, Scott White, the AGM in Dallas, is still like around.
Yeah,
but like he hasn't been told. But
I know you see mixing reports.
Seem to be in. Like,
is there a 3-headed monster here? Is he
doing?
Just the backup plan? Who knows?
What are we doing?
But like, you would have wanted to announce him as like part of a winning Dallas Stars team. They just got bounced in the first round again.
It's true. Someone in the chat, let me go back and find this. It's a pretty good comment.
But you're right. Like, there are other names out there, right? Like, there are names like from Brisebois to guys who don't have experience in the big chair to guys who have been out of the game it is a big leap.
Shady in the chat writes, is this the best, worst idea the Leafs can come up with? Is what's going on right now? Possibly.
Can I throw something else in? With Dallas out, what about Jim Nill?
Well, he just re-signed. Jim Nill, no, what are you talking about?
Yeah, sir.
He re-signed.
I forgot about that.
It was like, Azo, it was the day after the press conference.
Yeah, that's why they went to Scott White. You're right. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Dallas said, under no circumstances are you taking the stash from us.
So this is what I was going to ask. Did you think Dallas regrets that now, seeing that they got bounced in the first round again?
I think they're very happy with Jim Nill.
Yeah.
I think they're very happy with Jim Nill. Because they've got bounced by a team that might win the Stanley Cup. Let's remember the context of the Central Division.
Yeah. I like Minnesota's team and chances a lot.
I don't like how Colorado has sat for a bit. I don't like that. Like, when they get back into it, Minnesota will be more on their toes, in theory. Like, you see this happen now and again. A team that sweeps early and misses time. Like if you're Florida and you say you beat like Carolina early in the conference final, considering how banged up you are, that really helps you. If you're this early in the postseason, I hate that. I hate a quick. I know it sounds crazy.
No?
It can impede you in the next round if the other team's been through a war. And Minnesota went through a bit of a war.
They did.
No question about it.
And again, like, Quinn Hughes is carrying them. Like, him and McCarr, like, he's still great. But he didn't have the best first round series.
For sure.
But it's going to come down to those two against each other. It's going to be amazing to watch.
Jack in the chat, rust is real.
Yeah.
Yep. Rust never sleeps.
Hammer Down says, Azo, this segment needs a circus song playing in the background, please. I think because we're talking Leafs. Is that where we're at?
One day. When we pay for copyright.
Unless he's talking about us. Who knows? But we'll see.
By the way, speaking of like GMs you would ask to be part of the Leafs, Bill Zito?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, how's it just Brisebois and nobody else? Like,
No, but I think part of the problem is I think they know Bill Zito would come in here and not listen to anyone, because why would you? Why, if I'm Bill Zito, having been to 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals, winning 2 of them, do I have to listen to Humza Tarani? Like, why?
100% right on that.
Like,
That's why they tried.
Pelly's number 2 at MLSC for content,
And they did try and purge 2 of his AGMs or ask for interviews with them, right?
But I guess my point is, if you're asking for permission to speak to Julien Brisebois, I got news for you. There's a better GM in Florida.
That's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you have gone around?
There's a better GM.
How is that the one guy you just landed on? Nobody else.
It's a really interesting move.
I agree.
Now, I mean, does Julien Brisebois give more MLSC corporate vibes? Maybe. Bill Zito seems more of a guy who kind of walks into a meeting and says, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean any disrespect, but like MLSC are also looking for someone to represent the company in a certain way. That's kind of how they're thinking.
No, I agree with you 100%. That was my point, even about Jim Nill. Like, if you can't get him, then you just go to the AGM.
I'm just saying.
That's why.
And like, there's people in the chat, like JRDD in the chat. I feel like Bill Zito would avoid Toronto at all costs.
I think,
and that might be the case. But you ask.
You ask.
Why not ask?
It's true, 100%.
Are you sorry? The Leafs now have too much pride. You asked about every AGM they had.
That's what.
So what's the difference?
Why wouldn't you just ask about the main guy and bring him?
Bill Zito signed all of the guys long term. Everyone's sitting there except for Bobrovsky. Right. He's done his work. There's nothing left for Bill Zito to do in Florida.
He can and he
There's
does
nothing.
Get it done.
Except live in Florida and have no pressure and win hockey games. Sounds like it's a good time. And golf whenever you want. I don't know. Why not ask Bill Zito?
Sure. And like you said, every time they have a pending free agent or whatever, that they get it done one way or another. If he wants it done, he gets it done.
Yep. Jeff in the chat. Bill Zito will be the Fonz for the Toronto Maple Leafs. he comes in a leather jacket to every meeting, hits the jukebox with his arm,
punches.
Hey, Bill, what do you think of this draft pick? Hey,
he goes to the draft. Imagine that. He shows up at the draft lottery, just hits the machine, and they get the first overall pick.
Brilliant.
It would be amazing.
It'd be amazing.
But I'm with you. Like, why just Brisebois? And like, we didn't hear you ask for permission for all these other main guys, or you went to their AGM.
Why just Brisebois? I do find that interesting. There's a better GM in Florida, and Brisebois good.
Yeah, he's very.
But there's
good.
a better GM there. Why not ask Bill?
But again, yeah, you're going from this well-established guy, one really well-established guy, to a bunch of AGMs, to guys who haven't been in the league for over a decade.
Crazy.
Like, there's 3 tiers there of asks, which is insane.
Okay, I have been long-winded today. Ray Bay in the chat. Run it back with Dubas.
Why not?
Kyle, first round lost Dubas. Sure. Okay, so John Chayka is still the name that's being floated a lot in terms of, again, we're not sure the role. I guess it depends. If it sounds like if Sundin is here, Chayka's the GM. If Sundin says I'm good, Chayka gets like all the power, which is crazy. But we'll see how it plays out. That's just speculation. But everyone's wondering, what's the deal with John Chayka, who at 26 became a GM with the Coyotes, and since 2020, you haven't really seen him since, after he was docked a first and a second round pick for draft combine infractions, and then was suspended for a year for negotiating a potential new deal to run the Devils and the Brooklyn Nets and a Premier League team. And the offer he had was crazy.
Insane.
It was crazy. So yesterday, Kipper and Bourne had a great booking. I don't know who made it, but
it's Sammy. But yeah,
it was Sammy. That's an outstanding
full
booking.
credit. Totally.
Steve Peters, a former video coach with the Coyotes during Chayka's time in Phoenix, and now he has a coach's show, like a nerding out video session kind of show with ESPN, which is going to get a lot more eyes in Canada because he came off amazing.
Yeah, he really did.
He was great. So Steve Peters, he's also an ESPN producer. He's an experienced guy. He knows Chayka very well. He worked with John Chayka. So he had a lot of perspective on the Chayka years in the Coyotes. And the general sense was he was really young, and these things happen with young people, especially with little oversight. So Kipper at the end of the interview says, so how do you think this would work in Toronto? And it's a longer clip, but Steve Peters was excellent. Like he was really good. And he gave you some perspective here that few people would know because not many people cared / were in Phoenix at the time. So this is his take on how John Chayka, a former colleague of his, would do in Toronto.
I think his advantage in Toronto are twofold. I think he's matured, hopefully, over the last 6 years in his involvement with businesses. And we're talking big-time businesses across Canada. So I think that will have helped him. And more importantly, in Toronto, he's got a support system. He's got people that have been there before. He's got people hopefully around him, and Matt Sundin is a great example. This is somebody that gives John Chayka a little more cachet, and okay, he's going to have somebody to help him through this. And I think John was just probably a little bit ahead of his time when he came in Arizona. And here's the concern. You said it. People don't notice what you do in Arizona. They don't notice if you draft Victor Soderstrom and you say he's the face of the franchise and never plays. That's fine in Arizona. We'll move on. In Toronto, you don't get away with that. And the little decisions that you make day to day on calling players up and down and how those trades move, he's not going to be able to hide. And that's what's going to be interesting to me, is see how much he has matured and how much he is willing to take outside counsel and advice. And can he take on literally the center of the hockey universe in Toronto? And that's going to be a big task. And people should be skeptical of this hire. They should be. This is someone that hasn't been in the NHL face for years, and he left after lost our draft pick here in Arizona with his little scouting scandal. That hurt. That hurt, and put the rebuild back in Arizona because he violated rules and gets suspended. Those things won't go unnoticed in Toronto where they did in Arizona. I wish him well. I think he's a nice guy that ultimately meant well. I just think he was at the wrong place, wrong place, wrong time with the wrong people in Arizona. And maybe, just maybe, that this could be a thinking outside the box decision that may pay off for Toronto.
One Up Vodka in the chat. Make Steve Peters the GM.
I saw that.
That was good stuff last night.
That was really good.
That was really good.
Very good.
And this is a guy who knows Chayka and was there for a bit of the circus. Yeah, people have a right to be skeptical. I listen. And Elliot kind of alluded to this morning.
Mm-hmm.
He and a lot of people do have questions. Now, Chayka doesn't sound like he's talking to any media right now for obvious reasons. I wouldn't either. But like Chayka, let me give the Toronto Maple Leafs and MLSE some free advice that they're not asking for. When you hire Chayka, I don't think Sundin has to do this, but I think Chayka has to do this. Sit down with Duthie. Sit down with Freach. Sit down with Simmons, Rosie, whoever. Like multiple sit downs, and you end whatever is out there. Because he's never really addressed any of that garbage from Phoenix. And quite frankly, it's more for the fan base than for him. The fan base is owed that. I don't know if Pelly is going to properly kind of walk us through what he's thinking here. Based on the last press conference, I think we can all agree, even him, didn't go well. So I think John Chayka is 36. He's a grown-ass person. Let him, don't have to hold his hand. Freach, Duthie, couple of print interviews, a podcast or two, maybe this one, who knows. Do the thing that you have to do in Toronto, which is what happened in Phoenix. Why was it so weird? That's it.
Yep.
I don't know if they'll do that.
I doubt it.
I think they should. If Pelly's hiding the guy, bad news.
Totally.
Bad news. That's your reputation on the line too. I think that's the smart play.
To move forward, you got to put that behind you, for sure, and just squash any questions and things people have. The other interesting thing from Steve Peters that I thought he said in that is that when he took that job, he just like surrounded himself with yes man and people younger than him.
That's true.
To your point, like that's what kind of got him in trouble and why he didn't realize the mistakes he was making and the things that got him in trouble, which is a little bit concerning, which goes back to what we talked about yesterday, putting guys like Domi and guys he knows around him. Like, is that all this is going to be again?
And again, we don't know what the Domi role would be.
There's some.
I have no idea what that's.
There was some speculation he won't even have a title, even if he is involved. There's some.
But to me, that's the most dangerous thing.
Yeah,
he's there. You don't know how, but he's there. I'd like to know how people are there. Mm-hmm. That to me is more concerning if there's no title for anyone else. For Roberts, Domi, I don't care who we're talking about.
But you give him.
I like titles. I don't like lurking. Lurking is scary to me. Now, every organization has lurkers. They have president of lurking, they have the GM of lurking, and assistant GMs of lurking. They're all over the place.
It's true.
It's the lurking tree. I just like to know where people are at.
For sure. Mario Stefan in the chat, or Steven, has a great idea for a shirt if they sign him. Shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake. I love that.
Some people might have to bake after this goes south for the Leafs.
Oh, definitely.
Jack in the chat, Sid, the public relations guru over here.
Hey.
I don't know.
No, but he has to address it.
I think sometimes I have PR ideas at work.
It's the biggest question mark and the biggest shade from his past. You have to address it and say what happened. And everybody will tell you that whole organization was a mess at the time. Steve Peters addressed it yesterday. The owners were a mess. He's like, something's going to come out about the bus rides and everything that was going on. They were just free for all, like on that. And there was a mess of an organization. So he has that to use as an excuse or just to explain himself.
Manny in the chat, the entire organization is insane. I'm assuming he's talking about the Leafs.
Both?
Again, no bad moves have happened yet.
Right.
Like all the talk this has garnered, no bad moves.
No official bad moves
No
yet.
official bad moves have happened yet. And again, the Leafs, while we stream with you on Tuesday night, could get a first overall pick out of it. You never know. Okay. Anything else on this before we move on?
The first overall, and Pelly just announces himself. Nobody hired.
Guess what? If he wants to, who's going to stop him?
Yeah, no, it's true.
Who's going to stop him? All right. The Raptors are at home tonight. It's game 6.
Let's go.
It's game 6. Cleveland.
Can I stop you for a sec? Anything else on Montreal, Tampa tonight? Dude, I got the night mode hat on. It's like going to have two screens.
I blew through that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we wanted to do that.
Kind of a big deal tonight in Montreal. I can tell you Victor Hedman not playing tonight. John Cooper has confirmed that. Look, and I mean this when I say this. I don't even think the Habs have to win tonight. They're not scared of that building down in Tampa.
No.
They are not.
No.
And Dobish plays better down there than he does at home. So I think it's the house money of all house money games for Montreal. Go out there. I don't know who walks the flame out. I'm not sure. At the Bell Center. That place is going to be electric. Electric. And just corral that pain in the ass Hagel, and you're going to win the game. One guy. Just figure one guy out. Because you did it last game. What did Hagel do last game? Nothing. Just corral Hagel, that gnat. The Habs are going to win the game tonight. I think Montreal's got it tonione
I just think I disagree with you on one thing. I think it would be a huge step forward for this team if they win tonight. Because those young guys, what's the one thing that's hurt them is the young guys making mistakes like timely mistakes.
For sure.
That has cost them. So them going into this pressure field, there's going to, like you said, the energy is going to be crazy there tonight.
God.
The pressure is going to be huge. If these guys can escape this game and walk away sealing the victory at home, I think it's a huge step for all those young guys to take a big step forward in their confidence and get rolling.
I will be going back and forth with that Habs game.
2 screens
from the Raptors for sure. For
Get
sure.
your iPad out. Watch it both.
Again, we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't like to watch a bunch of screens in front of me.
Yeah, fair.
I feel like I lose. I don't know. I feel like I haven't blinked for 3 hours when I'm done. That's why Red Zone is becoming a problem for me. It's like, sorry, where's the commercial break here so I can go on Twitter? No, we're not having it? Oh, okay. I'll just be exhausted by the end of it.
But yeah, I think it would be great. Like, here's the thing. Tampa's are tough out. We know that from the years they've won the Stanley Cups, like with this core. They're a very tough out, and Montreal has more pressure, I think, playing at home.
By the way, you and Eric Engels, who you and I know very well. So they did, before they flew up yesterday from Tampa, they had 2 Zoom media veils. They had Caden Gooley did one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Martin St. Louis did the other. Eric Engels goes, 2 quick questions for you, Marty. Marty goes, you get one.
Really?
Not in like a rude way.
Yeah, but
Eric was like, okay, I'll pick one. I don't know. Could have taken 2. There wasn't that many reporters on the Zoom call.
Trying to close out the series.
I don't know. I thought it was a little rude, but whatever.
Marty's
I like
don't mess
Engels
with Marty.
No, don't mess with Marty.
You don't mess with Marty.
That's the one thing that's becoming playoff Marty. You don't mess with.
It's what makes him a good coach. Like no BS. Okay, so let me ask you this, because this is how I'm looking at it. Like the Raptors could have been at home looking to close out the series tonight, but they're not. How much pressure on the Raptors to extend the series, whereas Tampa doesn't have as much pressure on the road? Like that's the thing. You're right. They don't have to win it.
Sorry, you're asking who has more pressure tonight, Tampa or the Raptors?
Like trying to extend the series.
It's Tampa.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So the Raptors at home? Okay.
If the listen, let's play this out. And Brandon Ingram is now doubtful due to the inflammation in his foot. If you have a rosary next to you, use it. Hopefully Brandon Ingram's okay.
What was the app to try and get somebody to send some healing powers or a
Wow. Some people didn't like what I said yesterday about Ingram. I didn't go far enough with Ingram.
I agree.
Clown show. I'm so rooting for the Raptors tonight to put in a performance with that guy. And the best part about tonight, Raptors go on some runs. Watch how quickly he stands up to cheer his teammates. Watch this with the inflamed heel.
He's going to have a boot on.
Inflamed.
He's going to do the WWE
He's
thing.
not going to have a boot on.
Maybe he does the Kevin Nash where he's in the wheelchair and then all of a sudden he like lets it go and comes on.
Can I read you some of the reports coming out on Ingram?
Sure. Of course.
He's been downgraded, right heel inflammation. He is still experiencing pain in his heel and was not on the court this morning at shoot-around for a portion available to the media. Michael Grange also had an update on that. Forgive me, I lost that. But there was something along the lines of the pain increased throughout the evening.
You want to know the one I saw? It said he's been dealing with this since the last time they played Utah. You know when they played Utah last? March 23rd.
See, the one thing I hate more than excuses are bad excuses. This is a bad excuse. He won Player of the Week the last week of the regular season.
Yep.
But now he's Connor McDavid with the ankle. He's been dealing with this for a while now. Are you serious?
Full month. That's what.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't want to see him tonight. I'm doubling down on that. I don't want to see him.
I agree.
I don't want to see him. Let the guys try and handle it. They've been. I'll take 20 minutes from Pirtle tonight. Pirtle shouldn't be out there either. I'll take 20 minutes from Pirtle. The only 20 minutes he can give you.
What is Ingram giving them this series anyways? And they're right there in it. They're in it. You don't need him. Which sucks.
Unbelievable. So Brandon Ingram is doubtful for tonight. What a hero. And so obviously, look, the Raptors are going to have to do something here they've never done. They've never won a game 6 down 3-2 in a series. In their franchise's history, it's never happened. So if they're going to beat the Cavs, they have to win a game 6 down 3-2. They've never done that before. And then go win a game in Cleveland in the playoffs. They've never done that before. So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah.
But guys, before we all just go, well, Cavs win tonight, I want to play for you what Cavs head coach Kenny Atkinson said after Game 5 the other night. Because again, there's pressure on the Raptors, kinda, but not really. A little bit, but not really. The Cavs have the biggest payroll in the NBA. They choked on it last year in the second round against Indiana, and they acquired James Harden this year, a future Hall of Famer and former 3-time scoring champion. There is pressure there. This is how Kenny Atkinson responded to the question of what did winning Game 5 in the first round do for the confidence of this team, considering the pressure? Here it is.
This group is we're trying to get over a hump. We're trying to get to the next level. So, I mean, that's a real mental challenge to me, right? Like, especially in a Game 5, 2-2. These are high pressure moments. You're down. You could feel the crowd getting nervous. I think we took a step tonight. Whatever happens in this series and all that, and next series, whatever, tonight was a test, and we kind of passed that mental toughness test tonight. Now the big one is like, can you go and beat this team on the road, right? Like can we go in there and go take this? Because, we haven't shown we can yet.
The Toronto Raptors, by the end of Game 5, did not have Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quickly, and again, I'm pretty sure Jakob Poeltl, if this were the regular season, wouldn't be out there. Kenny Atkinson the other night said his team is so soft, they passed a, quote, mental hurdle, end quote, by winning Game 5 against a depleted Raptors team in round 1. This is who the Raptors are up against. This. Dennis Schroeder has to come out and wipe everyone's ass for them in the fourth quarter. And I'm pretty sure that won't happen again. There is no reason to be scared of this Cleveland team. None. They are primed to collapse. Primed. They're getting buried everywhere. ESPN, inside the NBA desk, everywhere. First Take, everywhere. They're feeling it. They can barely take the pressure of Game 5 at home against a Raptors team who can barely stand. I know it sounds crazy. I don't think the Raptors are done here. I don't think the Raptors are done. If one more person can step up in a semi-consistent way, I don't care who it is. Colin Murray-Boyles needs a better game tonight. He didn't play great in Game 5. But at home, he's done it. If someone else can step up and fill some kind of void, I like Toronto's chances in Cleveland in Game 7 against that Heat, against that team, against that fragile of an outfit in Cleveland. They thought they got over a mental hurdle in Game 5. Really? All right. Love it. Love it. All the tension that the Cavs are facing in round 1. Holy cow. Am I overdoing it on that take? Or
no.
Did you hear the same thing I heard?
I heard the same.
I heard a scared team.
And the mental hurdle of your coach asking to put your stars back in, the guy's going, no, they're good out there.
You and I have different versions of that story. But
even if that's the story you're presenting to the media, that's ridiculous. Those guys didn't. They won Game 5 without their 2 main stars. What are you talking about?
Chris in the chat. Sheed, baby. Joshua in the chat. Holy Sheed. That Jamal Sheed, as Donovan Mitchell referred to him, Jamal Shed.
So
he's going to have a big game tonight.
Yeah. My big takeaway, this stat was crazy to me that I found out about Game 5. The Raptors had 15 offensive rebounds, and they only got 13 points, second chance points off those rebounds.
Say that one more time.
The Raptors had 15 offensive rebounds, resulting in only 13 second chance points.
That's not great.
No. Like, if you're getting the rebounds, you got to put some back.
But the rebounds at home, like, that's going to matter. Like, I think it was Game 4. Because of the rebounding that CMB did and the Raptors generally, I think the Raptors got an extra 21 possessions in Game 4. You're not losing a game if you're getting an extra 21 possessions because of rebound.
Yeah, it was
and against a team like Cleveland who's big, that's wild. That's a wild statistic for the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
They're not out of it, dude.
So that's why
they're not out of it.
That's the other reason Game 5 was different. This was the other stat I highlighted. The team that won the possession game was the team that won games 1 through 4. Over the first 2 games, the Cavs got 9 more shot opportunities, which means field goal attempts or trips to the line than the Raptors. Over games 3 and 4, the Raptors got 21 more shot opportunities.
That's the one.
Than the Cavs.
That's the one.
That's insane.
That's crazy. Let's do that again tonight, shall we?
Let's go.
Chris in the chat, you guys aren't watching SmackDown tonight? No.
Watch it tomorrow morning or after.
What's the big SmackDown storyline?
I don't even know. I'm so confused right now on which one's which.
Joe Hendry's on Raw.
On Raw, yeah.
I believe in Joe
Hendry's on Raw. Yeah, he was singing it.
Raw. Joe Hendry's on
Raw. That's it.
All right. So that's anything else on the Raps? Game 6 tonight.
Oh man,
7:30. Still no time for a Game 7 potentially if it happens Sunday. Yeah. I've been checking aggressively.
Actually, yeah. One more thing. Who cares about Ingram's health update? I need a Scotty Barnes health update. Like, we know he's going.
He's playing tonight.
No, we know he's going, but how healthy is he?
I don't
That's
care.
huge.
You know what? I don't care. He's going. He's a grown ass man. He's the leader of this team.
Agreed.
Go get it, Scotty.
Agreed. But his health to me is way more important. Who cares about Ingram?
I've said my piece on Brandon Ingram. Meant every word of it. Maybe the market will come around because I can't believe that storyline.
Yeah.
Inflammation. He's also suffering from leadership inflammation.
Lack of leadership.
Leadership inflammation.
Lack of leadership.
It's like severe inflammation of the leadership.
Not being able to step up or hit a shot.
Ray Bay in the chat. Scotty lays it on the line for us.
He does.
Nice. Okay. I promised Azzo I'd read him the opening paragraph of this Associated Press column I read this morning, and it might be the worst opening paragraph I've ever read.
Like most damning, you mean, or
you'll know it when you hear it.
Okay.
This is the opening paragraph of this game write-up. Atlanta's Dyson Daniels and New York's Mitchell Robinson were ejected from Game 6 of the Hawks-Knicks playoff series Thursday night after a fight that prompted offsetting technical fouls, part of a game in which New York won by 51 points. The lead is buried in that paragraph.
100%. It's amazing.
The lead is slight. That's an AP column from this morning.
There's
So for those who missed it, the Knicks had a 47-point lead in Atlanta in Game 6, and they won by 51. My only question to you, Azzo, if you're Quinn Snyder and you're the head coach of the Hawks, and you're down by 47 points at the half, Karl Anthony Towns did not have a bucket in the first half. Didn't have a bucket. What do you say to your team in the dressing room down 47 points? Do you say anything?
What do
you do?
Yeah, you don't. Like, hey, guys, can we at least make this respectable? I don't know.
Hawks obviously got bounced last night. Knicks are moving on to the second round.
That's hilarious.
That is, I haven't heard what the message was. I didn't hear Quinn Snyder's media availability after the game, Hawks head coach. But, like, what do you say? What do you say to your team? The NBA is still a weird league, man.
Very.
To have that happen in a game of that importance, I can't wrap my head around it. Even in the National Hockey League, worst thing you see, 5-1.
Yeah.
The worst in the playoffs.
What Boston lose by, or to Buffalo that one game? 6-1?
I think it was 6-1.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was like, whoa, 6-1. This basketball score, 51 points, is in hockey, that's 12-0. Like, that's such a shocking scoreline. You don't know how to process it. The NBA has a real problem.
Especially after the
real
first,
problem.
when Atlanta won, what was it, games 2 and 3? Like, oh, a series, putting the Knicks on the run. Just blow them out.
Crazy.
It's insane. But that's an amazing paragraph. I guess it was trying to show that somebody on Atlanta had fight last night. That's why that happened.
But to not make the 51-point win the lead in that paragraph is crazy to me. It's like,
that's what I mean.
It's like, that was AI. Like, that's written by AI.
No, that's somebody saying somebody on the Hawks was actually trying to fight last night because the team was a disgrace.
I guess.
Tell me about the question Jalen Brunson got after the game.
Somebody.
That's how big of a blowout it was.
Somebody in the room said, Jalen Brunson, I'm a big fan. I'm a big Knicks fan, which I have a bit of a problem with, if I'm being honest.
No kidding.
I'm a big Knicks fan. I just want to ask you a question that you probably haven't been asked yet. Were you happy to see Roman Reigns win at WrestleMania?
Because when you win by 51 points, what are you supposed to have?
But now Jalen Brunson has opened the door for wrestling questions at the end of all availability, and I think it could be hilarious.
It could be. Because he said, these are the questions I like getting asked.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Okay, let's move on here quickly. A couple more things I want to get to. The Blue Jays were awful.
Sure.
Yeah,
Go.
well, there you go. Blue Jays were bad last night. Bad defense, bad hitting, bad pitching the baseball. Bad. All of it. I don't like the Kevin Gausman giving up home runs now. What is it, like 8?
That home run might not have landed yet. That home run was a bomb.
He caught Byron Buxton in a good run. He's having a good run for the Twins. But I believe 8 of his 14 earned runs allowed this year have come via the home run. Kevin Gausman has not had home run numbers like this since the end of his Cincinnati days into the San Francisco Giant days. I don't like this. I don't like this. Now, I know arms are coming back. Barrios is throwing a bullpen today. But we don't know who's throwing Sunday for the Jays. But the Kevin Gausman thing was an issue in a 7-1 loss in Minnesota last night. Defense wasn't good. The one thing also I want to bring up, there is nothing more startling to me in sports than wide shots of the crowd from Minnesota baseball right now. Target Field, you can throw it up anytime, Azzo. I had to take a picture of this. This is 4th inning of the Sportsnet broadcast. And for the listening audience, we're looking down at the stands, and I think the team on the field can shake hands with everyone in the stands in a rather quick and efficient manner.
Everybody runs the bases.
Do you know what the official attendance was last night? I checked this in Minnesota at Target Field. They said it was 16,000 something. My ass.
No chance.
There was no chance there were 16,000 people in Minnesota. And by the way, I'm like, oh, it must have been freezing. It was like 8 degrees Celsius. It was colder in Toronto last night.
So
it wasn't that bad.
My only argument would be the Wild were playing, the Timberwolves were playing. Like,
I guess. No, that's, you know what? That's
Timberwolves,
fair.
and both of them advanced. Like, both of them, they were clinching games.
Yeah.
But you've brought up this before. Like, this crowd isn't getting better. I'm curious to see what it is at the weekend. This wasn't an odd night.
Yeah.
This the only thing we can lead is that two other teams were in clinching games.
That is 100% fair.
But we've seen this crowd before. You brought one up from their broadcast that showed the same thing.
Yeah. And Nick in the chat, they had an NHL and NBA series clinching games last night. That makes sense. Okay. I'll take that.
But the Jays are supposed to draw some people. There were some people there last night. Like, that is still pretty bad.
There were some people. There were 12.
Yeah.
There were 12
people.
That's what I said.
Just let everybody run the bases after the game, not just the kids.
No, but this is a bigger issue in Minnesota because they sold at the deadline last year, and it did not go over well in Minnesota baseball-wise. I believe their team president left the team a week before the season.
Yeah.
Or it might have been even shorter than that.
Yeah.
It was a crazy. There have been some wild things going on in Minnesota. They hate ownership, and they're showing it with their attendance figures.
Well, because I even heard a guest from Blair Barker, somebody from the organization, saying they're not sure what this team is yet because they're not a good defensive or pitching team.
I can tell you what they're not drawing.
Yeah. Well,
they're not drawing. Like Byron Buxton's a good player, but he's not going to fix this.
You want to know the funniest stat I heard yesterday? The Twins are the team that has the most challenges in the league all season. Like they've had 88 going into last night. I believe it was 88, which is the most across the MLB.
Really?
And the Red Sox have like 36, which is also an issue. Like, why aren't you using your challenges and you're a bad team?
Maybe that's why they're bad.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that crowd was crazy. Jays were terrible last night. Jays are 14-17. Let me ask you this quickly because April's now official.
Yeah.
Officially.
Can I just go Gosman?
Go ahead.
That's the problem with a 2-pitch guy. You expect this when there's like over 30 starts a year. He's going to have some starts like this. When one pitch isn't working, he becomes a one pitch.
And the splitter wasn't working.
The splitter wasn't working.
No.
So he only had one pitch. Guys were sitting on it, and he had to take some velocity because his velocity is the thing that scares me. For an older guy, once he starts losing velocity, he apparently does that when the pitch isn't working. But it's scary to see an older guy start losing velocity like that. The Jays had 6 hits, so did Minnesota. It's just the time of hits and the defense is the thing that's the most concerning for me.
I mean, there's something else that's concerning me. Vladdy's on pace for 10 home runs.
That's true too. Yep. And what's he doing going to the other side of the mound to make that catch and trip?
He could have hurt himself.
He could have very much hurt. That's okay. Like, just leave it. Yeah.
What are you doing? Gosman 5 2/3, 4 earned runs. He was not good. But big picture, Patrick Corbin goes tonight against Simeon Woods Richardson.
One more thing from the game.
Hold on, give me one more second.
Okay.
Jays are 14-17. Everything we've seen this year. Was April a good month for the Toronto Blue Jays? I would say it was.
Okay.
I would say it was. It could have gone way more south than that. Way more south. The offense has been awful.
It has.
They've had no starting pitching generally, aside from a few starts here or there. The bullpen's been great, which I didn't think we'd say. The bullpen's been great.
Yeah.
I'll take 14-17 considering the start.
I'll take it too because there's only 3 teams in the American League above 500. There's 3 other teams right at 500. Only 3 teams, except 2 are in your division in the Yankees and the Rays.
Right.
Only 3 teams in all of the American League is above 500, which is mind-blowing. And there's 3 F. So I guess, yeah, so they're going to be in the hunt here. A lot of teams are, but you got to pull it together. I mean, it's going to be scary when Kirk comes back because, I mean, it's his catching hand. Like, I love it. He's throwing now. Okay, but it's his catching hand.
He's
Can
not
he
close.
receive those
Yeah.
pitches?
He has to do other things.
Yeah, and Barger, like, I love that everybody's counting on Barger to be this thing. That
Well, he's
we
close,
haven't-
apparently.
Yeah, but
Barger's
what
close.
is he? Like, he didn't have a great start to the season. He hasn't played a full season yet. Like, just staking your claim on
As
that?
long as his parallel ankle discomfort or whatever they call it is left. That's all I care about.
Bilateral.
Bilateral ankle
Yeah.
discomfort. A Money in the chat. Is Patrick Corbin the 2025 Eric Lauer?
I think so.
Could be.
Best deal
Pretty-
in baseball at $1 million.
Pretty good analogy.
And again, the minus 24 run differential is a bit scary.
For sure. By the way. So 2 years ago, the White Sox lose 121 games. Last year, the Rockies had a far better season, losing 119 games. Do you know the pace the New York Mets are currently on after losing again yesterday to the Nationals?
No, I don't.
110. Wow. They're in the ballpark. They're not like Rockies, White Sox bad, but if they blow a few more series, look out. Bo Bichette, 2 home runs this year. And he's not hitting 380 like Vladdy. He's hitting like 230.
He's hitting leadoff for them too.
Is he hitting leadoff for the Mets?
He is every
the
night.
The Mets are stupid.
Dude, they have so many
They're
more
so
problems. That whole that thing is a disgrace.
Ray Bay in the chat. Mets in shambles. My God. The highest payroll in baseball is going to lose 110 games potentially, maybe more.
Do you notice what the Phillies did yesterday since changing their manner? Like,
that's amazing. Oh, the Phillies?
Yeah.
Oh, Don Mattingly's 3-0.
Yeah. They had 2 ninth inning walk-off wins last night in a doubleheader.
Good for them.
Yeah.
They desperately needed that. Desperately.
Just some other things weird around baseball, which tells you it's the first month of the season. I told you 3 teams above 500 in the American League. One of them's the Athletics.
Oh, of course. Of course. The Sacramento, Oakland, Vegas Athletics.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, like the Rockies have the same record as the Jays. They're, almost 14-18.
We saw the Rockies in town not that long ago. Don't sleep on them. Okay, anything else with the Jays?
So the only other thing I was going to bring up, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but was David Schneider. Like, let's remember these stretches David Schneider goes through when people start asking for more playing time for him. Like, he's struggling right now. He is the last man on the roster. Like, let's remember this.
But good thing they still have Eloy Jimenez. Oh, no, they DFA'd him.
Yeah. That I can understand. I guess I started to come around because I just didn't understand why he only had to be a DH and nothing more. But anyway, and they're going to have more decisions coming up. Like, I guess when Kirky comes up, you send down Valenzuela. But when Barger's back, like, what do you do? Again, you're going to have to maybe DFA a guy to make room for a guy that hasn't proven it yet. We all know he's got the tools. I'm not saying that.
He does have the tools.
It's just, can he slow himself down? Is it too much for him when he's not, again, with David Schneider? Like, that's why you can't ask for more playing time for some of these guys, because it is matchup dependent. And what's a good situation for them? And Davis, he works counts, he gets walks, but let's slow down on he needs more playing time and all that I heard while he was hot.
All right.
Anyway.
Fair enough. Mark in the chat, it's time to get on Vladdy's ass. It's like he's playing in Pee-wee ball.
Or again, move him up in the lineup.
Dude, it's going to be a cold day in hell before anyone in that organization gets on his ass.
That's true.
Don't hold your breath. They can't confront him about the Gatorade bit at the end of home games. They're afraid to talk to him about that.
It's a fair point.
Mark Chappelle and Ross Atkins are flat out afraid to talk to him about that. Heaven forbid a reporter gets to do their job in peace. No. Vladdy needs his fun. Vladdy wants his airtime even when he's not hitting home runs. Okay, no problem. Just going forward, with all of us here, I think this is an important discussion. If you're expecting accountability from Vladdy in terms of how the Jays treat him and approach him, you are going to be disappointed. It's very Leaf-ish how Vladdy gets handled. Very Leaf-ish. Now, do I think Vladdy's going to hit 10 home runs for the rest of the year? No. But the Gatorade thing does concern me in terms of it still going on and how ridiculous it is. No, don't talk to Vladdy about the Gatorade thing. He wants the All right. Okay.
Again, man, look, Jay Ray agrees with me. Like, if you're going to hit for average, fine, but move up to the second hole. Like, you want to start hitting home runs, we'll put you back down to the 3-hole.
Look, this is going to have to come to a boil at some point. You 100%. Cannot have a guy in his position hit 2 home runs. Like, now, we're done April. There's many more months to go. We'll see how it goes. But, hey, the exit velocity is good. So there's that.
And at some point, you will hopefully go on a heater. But until then, I think he helps the team more if you bump him up. Have Ernie and Okamoto after him.
All right, Jays tonight. They're 14-17. They are at it once again. That's a little after 8:00 first pitch, by the way. There's a lot happening this
There's
evening.
a lot.
Yeah,
I guess you need 3 screens: Raptors, Jays, and Habs.
Well, what about Sabres, Bruins? You need that.
I can.
You're like, whatever. Whatever. I think the Bruins are winning that series. I think they're coming back.
They told them they were
I think they're coming back. Yep. David Pastrnak. Listen, let's remember when David Pastrnak got challenged by, was it Jim Montgomery against the Leafs before Game 7?
Yeah.
And who won the game? It was David Pastrnak with an assist from Morgan Riley, if I remember correctly.
Pasta's up there with like Drysdale is one of my favorite players to watch in the league. He's
do
great.
not sleep on Pastrnak taking that series over. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Normally, this time of year, Vancouver is definitely in the headlines, and it's normally because the Canucks are a mess. That has not changed. The Canucks are a mess. But the story this week out of Vancouver is strictly soccer, and it is wild from numerous fronts. The FIFA Congress wrapped up yesterday. Hopefully, Gianni Infantino and all of the Pope-like people got to the airport safely and left town with good security. But the Vancouver Whitecaps were another issue. Now, there was a demonstration I saw outside of the FIFA Congress buildings to save the Whitecaps. Ownership of the Whitecaps are not making any money playing at BC Place, and they're pissed about it. And they're having trouble finding local ownership. So it seems like the story's coming to a head. Yesterday, numerous reports came out saying that a group is hoping to buy the Whitecaps and move them to Las Vegas. And it's led by Grant Gustafson, son of billionaire Tamara Gustafson. Sportico's reporting that. The Athletics reporting that. So it seems like now Vegas has a name that they're putting on a buyer for the Vancouver Whitecaps to maybe take them out of Vancouver. politically, as you might expect, this story is kind of sensitive in the Lower Mainland, and there's a lot of people giving their takes. Now, yesterday, the Premier of British Columbia, David Eby, decided to enter the chat, and I think he can tell people are annoyed by this. So he wanted to calm down soccer fans and Whitecap supporters in Vancouver by putting out a highly, highly emotional 43-second video that I believe he recorded before lunch in his office. And it was a message to all Whitecap supporters in Vancouver. I'm going to talk to MLS Commissioner Don Garber. We're going to figure this out. Here's what he said.
Baby here. To every Whitecaps fan in British Columbia and around the world, I want you to know we are working hard to save the Whitecaps. For 50 years, the Whitecaps have been part of the fabric of British Columbia. From the '79 championship and the 100,000 fans who paraded downtown to 2011 when they joined MLS at their home in Empire Field, the Whitecaps are British Columbia. And I want you to know that we are at the table fighting hard to save the Whitecaps. We have the World Cup coming. We are a world-class football town. Losing the Whitecaps is not an option. I saw the shots of the fans out at the rally to save the Whitecaps. We are on the same side. We will fight hard to save our team.
Shakespeare from David Eby. Two things I'm garnering from the chat here during that clip of David Eby, the Premier of British Columbia. One, people are concerned about the Whitecaps. Two, people hate David Eby. Hate. Hate. I won't read you what I'm looking at here, but there's a deep, deep resentment for David Eby. Now, the one thing I also saw floated was, look, the FIFA Congress is in Vancouver. The Whitecaps are in financial trouble. People love the Whitecaps. On the field, hugely successful organization. They nearly won MLS Cup last year, losing to Inter Miami. How can this be? This can't happen. Someone locally has to come in. And immediately people looked at Ryan Reynolds, who loves that part of the country, proud Canadian, knows soccer, shout out Wrexham. They're trying to get promoted to the Premier League. Maybe they get in the playoffs in the championship. Who knows? But Ryan Reynolds' name's been floated forever. And yesterday, Ryan Reynolds finally appeared to push forward a sporting idea in the city of Vancouver. Here's the problem. It's a baseball idea, not soccer. Reportedly, Ryan Reynolds is part of an ownership group looking to bring an MLB team to Vancouver. This comes as fans are begging Ryan Reynolds to save the Whitecaps. Apparently, you can't walk and save the Whitecaps at the same time in Vancouver. You got to pick a side. And Vancouver municipally are it looks like very serious about getting involved in the next round of Major League Baseball expansion. I don't know if it's going to work. I still think there's some heavy hitters in Montreal that want another swing at that, pardon the pun. Nashville's always mentioned. There's a few places, not as many as the NBA, but there's a few places in baseball where they can go. But Vancouver's an interesting thought. But as someone who loves soccer, I am disappointed that Ryan Reynolds has kind of picked a side here, because Reynolds has some weight. He's a heavy hitter, and the heavy hitter is picking up a baseball bat apparently. Hopefully, he has more power than Vlad. I guess what I'm trying to say in this latest update here is regardless of David Eby, the Premier of British Columbia, it's not looking good right now for the Whitecaps. This is not a new process. People like Gareth Wheeler in this country and One Soccer and other people have been for years talking about how this is a problem. You have to fix this. The Glacier has been approaching this story for years. This is not a new problem. And now it's not financially viable for ownership to keep losing money in Vancouver. And municipally and provincially, they're not coming to the rescue because all the money's going to go into the baseball bid, it looks like. They had to pick a side. If that's how soccer dies in Vancouver with the World Cup 41 days away, I want to cry thinking about that. I see you, Vancouver. This is nuts. This is nuts. The city of Vancouver is going to get behind a baseball bid with no guarantees while the Whitecaps leave? Damn it. Say it ain't so, man. Meanwhile, the way things are going to BMO, I don't know how long that team's going to be around here. I don't know if you've noticed, but some cuts get made at MLSC all the time. Think about it. I don't like where this is going. Like, I think there's a part of me that's thinking FIFA leaves town with the World Cup because you should know this. FIFA will not put a tournament in a country that does not have its own league. The Canadian Premier League is very important for this World Cup to happen. What it means after, I'm not sure. But the second FIFA get their bags of money, pull up their tents, and leave town, it is the Wild West for soccer in this country. I don't know what's going to happen. And it freaks me out a little bit. Because once they leave, FIFA do not care about the game in this country. Much like any other place they've left, they do not really care that much about the game. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully there was a white knight riding in here with a 97th minute pitch to save the Whitecaps in Vancouver. Because they've done things the right way with that organization. They're a smart organization. They're going to need some help, though. Municipally, provincially, Ryan Reynoldsy, another celebrity. I mean, who are the other big-time Vancouvers? I'm literally writing in big-time Vancouver celebrities. Is there anyone else we're not thinking about that could come in and get it done? Seth Rogen? Michael Bublé? Where are you at, guys? Where are you at? Pamela Anderson? Where? Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. Made some money recently. Where are you at? I'll take any other BC celebrity. Save the Whitecaps. It's pocket change for you. Bublé. That's like a month of Christmas album sales. Minimum. Michael Bublé loves sports. Mike, help. They need your help, man. Somebody get in there. Sarah McLachlan, somebody. Save the Caps. Please. Doesn't have to be Ryan Reynolds all the time. I'm sure the chat is filled with BC celebrities that I've forgotten. I'm
Jason
sorry.
Priestley?
Jason Priestley. Coming on in to save it. Someone said Drake. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Who's the other one?
Save the Caps.
Joshua Jackson?
Any thoughts on this, Azo?
No, man.
Any
No,
thoughts?
no white knight. Just need the Green Hornet. That's it.
The Green Hornet.
Isn't that Ryan Reynolds? Didn't he play the Green Hornet at one point?
You got
Green Lantern. Green Lantern. He played the Green Lantern at one point.
I'm not superhero film guy.
All right.
I have not. The one film I always want to see is the Infinity Wars battle with Thanos. I haven't seen that movie, but I'm not.
So what about this?
Superhero guy.
How about, since he's already done the FXX or whatever it is show with Wrexham, do an MLB show, bring in the Vancouver MLB team, and have that fund the Whitecaps. You can make it all work. Ryan can do it all.
That's a lot of hoops to jump through.
I think Ryan Reynolds can support both.
Sorry, Seth Rogen was the Green Hornet.
Oh, is it?
Was Seth Rogen the Green Hornet? You got me. I don't know.
Ryan Reynolds was definitely the
know.
Green Lantern, though.
Okay, I'm not superhero guy. Let's confirm before we leave this week.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, 2011 film. Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Yes.
Okay.
I screwed it up.
Green Hornet is different.
Yeah.
All right. I hope they're okay. I hope the Whitecaps are okay. Hey, David Eby's on it. He'll fix it.
What was that statement? Not AI generated, totally. Like,
AI
hey, I gotta go to
generated?
lunch,
dude. You know what that looked like? Premier, can you record this video for the Whitecaps? I have to take a dump right now.
That's what I mean.
Premier, this will take 40 seconds. Okay. Hi, Whitecap supporters. I see you.
Not even to go outside with a nice Vancouver landscape behind you.
The most emotional 43-second message I've ever heard in my life. You couldn't care less.
Well, we need a statement. AI, give
Couldn't
us a statement
care less.
on how we're trying to save the Whitecaps.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
All right. Anything else? Because I think we're done.
Yeah, I guess we was going to go around a bit. AI, USA Today asked Microsoft's Copilot AI chat box to do a running of the Kentucky Derby. Didn't pick the same horse you did. Further ado, is who it picks. 7-1 odds to win it.
Because I'm picking Commandment, right?
Yeah,
I believe I'm picking
Commandment.
the 6 horse.
7-1 odds too.
I got
So
the
maybe
6
it's all
horse.
the 7-1 odds.
We're no Ed Olczyk.
Yeah.
But we'll give you a
You
Kentucky
gotta trust
Derby pick.
AI. I can also
All right.
confirm that AI told Keith Pelly that Connor McDavid is a good player.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
It's good scouting.
it's
I'll write
It's
that
a
down.
good thing.
Connor McDavid
Speaking
is
of-
a good player.
And this is why I realized I didn't like Rob, because the story did come out. A TKO president this week saying Triple H is using AI to write storylines, which is ridiculous.
Sorry, the WWE is using AI to write storylines.
Apparently, that's what came out. TKO held their town hall this week, which do we have to explain what a town hall is?
A town hall is like an internal meeting, basically.
Yes.
That's what a town hall is.
Like
Yeah.
pitching to things that are coming up. TKO president Mark Shapiro. Mark Shapiro. I got screwed up with that. Nick Khan and Triple H are using AI for storylines with the WWE. What's resonating? What superstars are resonating? In what pockets of the country are they resonating? That helps us with our content, our editorial, our creative, our mapping, our touring, and of course, maximizing revenue.
It's so crazy. It might just work though.
You think? No chance.
You have to alternate. The fans will tell you what they want. Wrestling's good that way. But if you've run out of ideas, just do it.
I guess.
If it works, it works.
You have so many superstars. That's crazy. I would explain why certain, like the same people keep getting pushes.
I'm seeing a lot of the same people in main eventing.
Yes.
Like, I got one rule for WrestleMania. If you want to give me another Roman Reigns, if you want to give me another Cody Rhodes, I got no problem with it. You give me some fresh talent opposite them.
You have to.
You give me who's the young guy, the all gas no brakes guy. Who's he?
Fatu. Jacob Fatu.
I need Fatu in that main event as well.
100%.
Like, I need Fatu too. Give me something. Like, I don't mind. I just don't want to see the same two people. Give me the same. I'll take a same person. It's got to be fresh. That's why the Brock Lesnar and Obafemi
yep.
was great. That's perfect to me. That's a perfect WrestleMania
But see,
book.
there was a build-up to that. Like a lot of WrestleMania didn't have build-up, no star power, no nothing. It's the storylines that you got to come up with years before. Like, you got to know who's getting popped. You don't need AI to tell you that.
I know.
You got to see who's coming. That's ridiculous to me. To me, that I don't know. It kind of turned me off. I was like, are you kidding me? That's a TKO president. Mark Shapiro saying that.
We'll see how it goes, though.
I guess.
Let's see how it goes.
Well, I mean, they haven't had a good year. Royal Rumble sucked. WrestleMania sucked. One night of WrestleMania for sure sucked.
WrestleMania was so bad.
Royal Rumble was so bad.
You know what popped up into my YouTube feed the other day?
What?
A cage match between Big John Studd and Andre the Giant.
Oh my God.
And it was like Andre couldn't move. Like Afro Andre the Giant couldn't move. And it was great. It was great. Big John Studd was a large human being, and he looked like a kid.
Yeah. I started to watch that Hulk Hogan dog, and it dives a lot into that Hulk and Rock WrestleMania. Like that. Like, how could you ever predict what was going to happen that night and how they listened to the crowd? And it changed it. Like, that was amazing.
Do we have time for affirmations here? The Seixeiro Circle of Gratitude?
Oh, we're doing. I thought we were saving this for Monday.
No, it's end of the week, beginning of the week. We can do both.
Okay.
I'll start. I'm and this is where Azo, the chat, and myself say what we're thankful for. The Seixeiro Circle of Gratitude. I'm thankful for the Edmonton Oilers and that run that they had. Specifically, Connor McDavid and Leon Drysdale. That is one of the greatest Canadian hockey feats I've seen since the Habs won the Stanley Cup way back when. That is an insane run that were spearheaded by two people and some ineptness around them. So I'm thankful for Connor and Leon in that run. Azo?
I'm thankful for Scotty Barnes, who plays through injuries and steps up for this team and this city and this country when it's needed. And I think he's going to get them the win tonight. So I'm thankful for Scotty.
There you go. There's people in the chat thankful for Anthony Santander.
There are a lot, but we haven't even told you that. Sean and the Yukon, I'm thankful for chips.
Oh, I love chips.
On a night like tonight where there's so much on TV, yeah, we're good.
Wally the Prof is thankful that there's only 41 days till the World Cup of Soccer.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
Right
like there
that.
with you.
Oh, wait, no.
Ray Bay said 3-hour show. No, we're not doing a 3-hour show tonight. Not. Jeff is thankful for still having hair. I'm envious.
Yeah, me too.
And Railside said, I'm thankful for Alec Manoah. Aren't we all? Do we have a closer?
Scorpio says, I'm thankful for AI. There you go.
You know who wrote that?
AI. Dennis says, thankful for the Habs for the playoffs. Go close it out, boys.
All right, let's leave it there. Good stuff.
Did you go to City Hall today? You didn't sign any paperwork?
No.
Did you make any announcements?
No, I couldn't. The subway was down again. Did you see the subway system in Toronto has been down like every day with the World Cup right around the corner? Have you seen this? Oh my God, it's going to be fun.
So thankful I don't have to go down there every day anymore.
Unbelievable. All right. Our apologies. We wanted to get to Anthony Santander, but we ran out of time. On behalf of Jeff Azzopardi and everyone here at Sick Media, my name is Sid. You've been watching and listening to the Sid Seixeiro Show, powered by Sick Media. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. Let's see what Monday brings. Take care. We'll talk soon.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sid Seixeiro Show on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts.